What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and if you are a Toronto Maple Leafs fan right now, I need you to stop whatever you are doing, because the news that just dropped is the kind of stuff that makes you realize, this is not the same old Leafs anymore. This offseason, John Chayka is not playing around. And the signing I am about to break down for you today is one that every single Leafs fan needs to understand, because on the surface it might look like a quiet move, but when you dig into the details, when you look at what this player brings to this locker room, to this lineup, to this penalty kill, you are going to walk away from this video completely sold. So hit that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, and let's get into it. The Toronto Maple Leafs have officially signed forward Colton Sissons to a 2-year contract worth $4.25 million per season. That is a total of $8.5 million for a player who, I promise you, is going to be one of the most important depth signings this franchise has made in years. Now I know what some of you are thinking, Colton Sissons? The guy who had 11 points in 66 games with Vegas last season? Why are we spending $4.25 million on that? And I completely understand that reaction. But here is where you need to slow down and actually look at the full picture, because the point totals do not tell you the real story of this man. Let me start from the beginning for anyone who might not be super familiar with Colton Sissons. This guy is 32 years old, he is from North Vancouver, British Columbia, and he spent 11 seasons, with the Nashville Predators before signing with the Vegas Golden Knights just 1 year ago. In 756 career NHL regular season games, he has put up 232 points, 101 goals and 131 assists. He has also appeared in 93 career playoff games, and here is the part that should get every Leafs fan excited. He just came off playing 22 playoff games with the Vegas Golden Knights as they made a run all the way to the Stanley Cup final. This man has winning culture in his DNA. He knows what it takes to go deep in the playoffs, and that experience is invaluable in a Leafs locker room that desperately needs it. Now let's talk about what Sissons actually does on the ice, because this is where it gets really interesting. When the Predators needed someone to kill penalties, who did they call? Colton Sissons. Every single time. In the last decade, this man ranks third in the entire NHL in shorthanded minutes played, sitting at over 1,500 minutes of penalty kill time. Let that sink in. 1,500 minutes. Over 500 more shorthanded minutes than any other Predators forward combined over that same period. The Toronto Maple Leafs last season were not a hard team to play against. They were not a physical team. They were not a team that made your life miserable on the penalty kill. Colton Sissons changes that. He is the kind of player who skates into your zone and makes you uncomfortable. He hits, 93 hits last season alone. He battles in the corners. He competes every single shift. And that energy? That grit? That is contagious. But here is the stat that is going to make every hockey analytics fan nod their head. Despite the fact that his point totals dipped last season in Vegas, Sissons posted a face-off percentage of 56.5%, second among Golden Knights centers behind only Tomas Hertl. And this is not a new thing. Sissons has never posted below 50% on face-offs in any full season of his NHL career. You know how important that is? In a Leafs lineup that has been crying out for a reliable center who can win draws, take the tough defensive zone faceoffs, and anchor the penalty kill, Sissons is exactly what the doctor ordered. He slots right into that fourth-line center role and immediately upgrades the team structure in ways that do not always show up on a highlight reel but absolutely show up in wins and losses. And let me put this signing in the context of everything the Leafs have done this offseason, because this is not happening in a vacuum. John Chayka came in as the new general manager and he has been absolutely on fire since day one. The Leafs went out and selected Gavin McKenna first overall in the 2026 NHL draft, a generational talent who is going to be a cornerstone of this franchise for years to come. They brought in Sergei Bobrovsky on a 3-year deal at $7 million per year to solve the goaltending situation, one of the biggest question marks this team had. They acquired and extended Darren Radish to shore up that top defensive pairing. They signed Teddy Bludger and Brandon Duheim to add compete level and depth throughout the forward group. And now they have added Colton Sissons, a Stanley Cup final veteran, a face-off specialist, and one of the best penalty killers of his generation, to anchor that bottom six. This is a complete roster overhaul, and it is happening right in front of our eyes. Some people are going to say the price tag is a little high for a fourth-line center. I have seen that argument, and honestly, I get it. $4.25 million is not nothing. But here is my counter-argument. When you sign a player who just played on a team that went to the Stanley Cup final, you pay a premium. That is just how it works. Vegas Golden Knights culture, Vegas playoff experience, that does not come cheap. And the Leafs are not signing Sissons to put up 40 points. They are signing him to win faceoffs, to kill penalties, to hit, to compete, to set the tone on the fourth line so that Matthews, Nylander, and whoever lines up on those top two lines can play with more space and more confidence. That is the value here. The role player who does the dirty work that makes the stars shine brighter. Every championship team has those guys, and for far too long, the Leafs simply did not. What also gets me fired up about this deal is the versatility factor. Sissons can play center or wing, so if there is an injury anywhere in the forward group, he can slide up or shift around without disrupting the whole lineup. He gives head coach Jim Hiller options and flexibility that this team has not always had. And Hiller, by the way, is a coach who demands compete level and defensive structure, which fits Sissons perfectly. These two are going to get along just fine. I also want to say this to the fans who are feeling skeptical, and listen, I understand the skepticism. This is Toronto. We have been let down before. We have seen moves that looked great on paper fall apart come April. But something feels genuinely different about this offseason. The Leafs are not just adding offensive flash, they are adding character. They are adding players who have been through battles, who have won faceoffs in overtime, who have killed penalties in Game 7 situations. That DNA matters. That matters in a locker room. That matters when the pressure is on in March and April, when games start to count even more. So when you look at the full picture, Gavin McKenna, Bobrovsky, Radish, Bludger, Duheim, and now Colton Sissons, this Toronto Maple Leafs team heading into the 2026-27 season looks like a legitimate contender in a way that this city has not been able to say with a straight face in a very long time. John Chayka has earned the trust of this fan base through his actions, not just words, and the Sissons signing is another piece of evidence that this guy knows what he is building. Colton Sissons is confirmed in Toronto. The deal is done. The forward group is getting tougher, smarter, and deeper. And folks, the best days for this franchise are ahead of us. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on every single move the Leafs make this offseason, because we are not done breaking down the biggest stories in blue and white hockey. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you excited about Sissons? Let me know what you think. I will see you in the next one.